always tell my son, dream big. And as I always say, we always under promise and over deliver. That is where everything works. Professional life is not very bad as well, I would say. It's as rewarding as it can be, you know. It all depends on yourself. Yeah. Got my mentors, Kevin Melton, there as well, who has taught me the value of professionalism, who has taught me the value of how to handle people. So I started off with a very basic role. I said, whatever it takes, I will take it. Things start to change. The only thing which kept me going is commitment and dedication. I will start it today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Abed podcast. This is episode 19, the first episode of 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone have nice holidays and nice breakout from the previous year and started the new year with a good start. Everyone's thought that we will have off this weekend. No, baby, we are rolling, and how can I say? It's the year of success, and we will push boundaries this year. And this is our promise to you. So here in this episode, we always share stories of resilience and growth and inspiration. Today is not a change for our mission, since we bring professional people who have put significant efforts in developing themselves, developing their skills, and developing people around them. And this is the catch in this episode, because a lot of people they have spoken to me and they said, Abdurrahman, why do you always advocate for entrepreneurship? I said no, but this is the aim for many people who comes to UAE with inspiration or to work as in a career. How can I say? Get some skills that they can cross towards the entrepreneurship. Is anyone will enjoy that journey? I have no idea, but for sure there is people have enjoyed the journey in being successful in the career life, and our guest is a prime example for that. He have hailed from Pakistan for many years, and we will get to know the stories behind it. Excelled in his career to reach the director level in an international firm, which is, it takes a lot of effort, guys, and we will talk more in detail in this episode. He will share and advise us how to level up your professional level skills, what kind of tips you can take it from him today to excel in your career life. This episode is really inspirational and practical takeaways. It will have a practical takeaways for you guys if you want to enjoy your career life. And nothing wrong with that. People excel in career life, reach their goals, even they build successful legacy, even if it's a career life. So don't get, how can I say, downgraded by the idea of having a career job. No, it is not. It can open doors for you, and it can open literally the world for you. So our guest today will help you to break the stereotype about sales career, which is very important. And how can this kind of skills that people have in the sales can be powerful for you in your achieving your goals in the path that you have chosen. Without further ado, Rahman, welcome to Abed podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being with us on episode 1 in 2025, which is a great honor. For the people who doesn't know you, first of all, Happy New Year for you and your family. I hope you guys enjoyed the break holidays. For the people who doesn't know you, please introduce yourself to our audiences.
Okay, first of all, Happy New Year to everyone listening, everyone, and Abed to you as well.
Thank you.
It's kind of a different, I see you in the gym always, and now it's something different, you know. But I'm glad that I'm doing this. And a bit about me is, I always say I come from a very small town of Karachi, which has 25 million people approximately now. And like anybody else, I had my dreams. I have struggled quite a lot in the past, and come to a situation where all my hard work has come to this point. And obviously, I mean, I've been very lucky with the people I had, with the family, and obviously my support from my mother. You know, I mean, she has been always there behind my back to do whatever I want to do. You know, it's just luck plays a very important role as well. You know, and obviously it does not say that if you just sit on your table, you get something. You have to work hard as well.
True.
So it has come to a point where yes, I come from Pakistan. I mean, I'm very proud to be a Pakistani as well, and obviously in this region, it took me a while. I mean, people say, "Oh, you became overnight a good person, and obviously you have done something," but it took me 20 years at the end of the day. So, but I mean, again, it's all a journey, which
True.
I really enjoyed it. And obviously, whenever I go back to Pakistan, I was there last week as well. It has such a different feelings as well. But obviously, UAE has given me a lot of things. You know, it's been an inspirational journey over the last 20 years I've been here. And as you were saying, that entrepreneurship is something different, but professional life is not very bad as well. I would say it's as rewarding as it can be. You know. It all depends on yourself, yeah.
That's a word that I'm looking for. The rewarding, actually, and a lot of us, even if they come from Arab region, they consider expat in this country, which is, yani, alhamdulillah, to give back to this country. It's have been great to us, everyone.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter your background, nationality, even religion background or your belief, but everyone has a story why he come to UAE. What is your story of coming to UAE?
I won't say it was just a thing of a snap that I came over here. I mean, I already has a vision, you know. I mean, to spend something and see something different outside of what your comfort zone is, you know.
Absolutely.
In Pakistan, I mean, I know everybody around. I knew people, but I had that vision that I want to do something different.
Okay.
In the professional world, I mean, I started off my career in Pakistan at a very young age.
What was your education background?
So I've done my master's in marketing, and I had some of ICT as well, so on the computer side as well.
Nice.
But mainly it was marketing, and it's been. I started, as I said, I started very, very early. Very early in my career. I used to sell individual insurance policies, walking on the road or speaking to friends.
Cold calling.
And all these things. But then I had an opportunity to work for a private insurance company in Pakistan, which is very big name over there. I spent about 6 years over there. Then I had an opportunity to come to UAE. And it was just, I mean, that somebody recommended me, okay, you need to come and see how it works over there. Luckily, I got a job, and I was printing policies and delivering policies as well. So I started off with a very, 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 very basic role, you know. I said, whatever it takes, I will take it. Because I could see that I can progress.
Nice.
Especially in this country, I mean, sky is the limit, you know.
Sky is the limit, absolutely.
If you want to achieve, if you're dedicated enough to do what you want to do, if you have a vision, if you have dreams, as I always say, dream big.
True.
I always tell my son, dream big. You might end up somewhere. Even if you not get there, you'll be very, very close over there, you know.
I've been told by a wise gentleman, he said, Abdurrahman, your only limitation in this country is your dreams.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. And then I started off in a local insurance company, and that local insurance company had some international divisions. So after 1 year, the person comes up to me, he's British national, he says, would you like to work in this company? It was part of the same company, it's just fronting insurance, you know, and he said, I said, yes, why not? And then I started working for an international company, and it was like 2006 before. And since then and till now, I've been working a lot with the British people. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got my mentors, Kevin Meld, over there as well, who has taught me the value of professionalism, who has taught me the value of how to handle people, I mean, I always thought, when I will become a manager, if I ever become a manager, how will I treat people,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yes.
I'm keeping it for a later stage.
Yes.
But you get married when you are in Pakistan, or
So I got married in Pakistan.
then you choose to
and
come
then
here?
1 year, luckily, for my honeymoon, we came over in the Gulf because my wife has relatives in UAE, in Qatar. So we did a Gulf sort of a
Sure.
trip.
Nice.
And in that one, we really liked it, We really liked this place. And after 1 year, we just end up coming over here,
Very nice. And this is why I'm asking this question, because I've seen a lot of people who I interviewed. They choose this country or this region to establish their families. So it's a place that people can really capitalize on it if you have a vision, if your eyes are open to snap those chances. So it's very interesting. You have said about success in career, it has its own flavor.
Absolutely.
What it was for you
For me,
before jumping to the international firm.
Yeah.
So,
For me, success has different meanings.
all right.
For me, success is not only money. Obviously, people rate yourself or gauge you from the amount of money you have, from the things you have. I don't do that. For me, success is first because I'm a sports person by nature.
Yeah.
So for me, success is every day going on the squash court or in the gym with my health in. So that is my prime success factor, Coming back to the professional life, my success is if there is a gathering of 10 people where I'm not included in this one and they talk good about me, that is my success.
Is it like branding your name, or is it legacy that you left it with people that you've brought value to them?
It's basically a bit of both. It's a brand name where the actions you have done in the past for the people is becoming your brand for future. So it's the legacy you are keeping. It's the things, and it's nothing to do with maybe just a smaller thing for them. Maybe getting them a discount on the quotation. I'm just giving you an example, but it's much more than in insurance, because insurance is very personalized.
Of course.
And it's an emergency can be very different for you, or it means it's because I deal in health insurance, so it's very, very personal.
Very personal, yes.
Very personal. It's not like a motor insurance where you had just hit a car and you get the claim. Whose mistake is this? Is very, very clear. Health insurance comes with emotions.
True.
So if you help people with emotions, I've sat with clients as well, and they just were crying at point, and you just need to talk to them, whether you are paying the claim or not paying the claim as per the terms and the conditions. But if you talk to them, that reputation is built up,
True.
So that when you build up that reputation, and believe me, it took me 20 years.
Yeah, I believe you. I've been in
And
that
it's
field as well.
if you go and speak to people, they will remember you by name, not by face.
Of course.
So that's where I believe the success is. Okay, again, it's the gauge of how you do things. I personally believe if you are known in good words, that's your success.
That's a very good point. That leads me to the second point when it comes to the rewarding of being in a career, which is stability.
Yeah.
Stability, some people, they will refer to it when you have a career and you are like excelling in it, getting promoted, getting the upgraded in your package or welfare, etc., etc. But then people, they tend to sit on the comfort zone for so long. For you and for me, I've changed 5 companies in my course of 21 years in the professional life. I have, as I told you before, I've started 4 companies, closed 3 of them. So it's a big journey of instability, I would say. For you, fear was not an issue for you?
Never has been. So no, I always wanted to explore. I always wanted to see things differently,
Why I'm highlighting that, I want to take your experience based on it, because going to career life it's somehow in your mind, it's a stability that entrepreneurship doesn't give to me. So people, they tend to settle for less, if you know what I mean, when it comes to career, blinding themselves from not seeing what is behind the fence. For you, you change countries.
Yeah.
That's a big,
Huge move.
huge move, which is, it's anything not stability.
Exactly. I mean, again, moving countries is huge because you're leaving your parents behind, you're leaving your friends behind, your comfort zone behind, and you don't know what's going to end up over here, you know. But if you have vision, if you have the skill, the passion to move to the next steps. I mean, I've changed 4 or 5 companies, I think, over here as well.
Natural.
If you are staying in your comfort zone and if you're not growing, you need to do something about it.
I'll take this point for you because again, the reason this podcast is here is to gauge that kind of experiences from yourself and the people who have seen it multiple times, dealt with it, and just it's became spontaneous how to deal with it. Taking action to change and really breaking that stability. You work in risk management.
Yeah.
So is it important for you to take the risk or you to take the calculated risk? Meaning, and this is what I need to take your advice on it for the people who are listening. Is it important for you to calculate your risk, get the necessary skills that you need before you do the move? Or after you decided to do the move?
It's all a mixture again, you know. I mean,
Okay.
I personally do a calculated risk. So I would take pros and cons and take whatever is most advantageous at that time. Following what you are going into, then you have calculated risk. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work.
True.
I was again very lucky that it worked out for me. Because I took that risk. I mean, even when my wife came in over here as well, she started working as well. So it became a sort of a journey together, you know. Again, we used to spend less time together.
True.
Obviously, we both are working. Things start to change. The only thing which kept me going is commitment and dedication. Once you have taken that decision, whether that was a right decision or not the right decisions, you stick to it. There is no turning back, there is no looking back. Once you are committed, once you are determined, like you are in sports and everything, you know,
Yeah.
I have seen you cross the line if you are determined. If you want to make a change, you know, if you want to stay in your comfort zone, you can stay in your comfort zone and nothing changes. Again, as I was telling you before as well, my mentor is a person who managed me the first time. He's a British national, you know, as well. He told me, if you don't like it, don't do it. If you like something, you will come energized every single day and you will do it. Without any compensation, without anything, you will do it if you like something. Just like if we like something to eat, we will eat it more often. If we are dedicated, I mean, I take a time every single time to go, even if I'm so busy, I will go half an hour somewhere in the night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, if I can't do gym or squash, I will do it. It's all about your mind.
And I'll take this point from you because you come from a profession which is hyper competitive, which is marketing and sales.
Yes.
I've been on that field, which is hyper competitive. People can break easily.
Yeah.
But and the stereotype of people, they downgrade or they look really down for someone who's starting his career from a sales point of view. Why?
Again, I mean, I always have done sales. We always do sales at any stage as well, you know. If my son wants to get something,
trust me, I've done it. From the
base.
Base.
Yeah,
Really,
exactly. So I don't know why this is looked down. This because everything it depends on sales. The revenue comes from sales. You can be known through sales only. You know,
True.
it's. So I don't know. Again, I've seen it. I've got comments as well. Oh, you work in sales. Oh, okay.
There we
All
go.
right,
See,
all right, okay.
that's the reaction.
That's the reaction. So first, when I started job, I mean, I always been in sales, you know, whether in Pakistan or over here. I never understood this sentiment against the salespeople, you know. And if you see, sales is the only profession probably in any organization where you can go to the sky, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's more people oriented, and you make your luck yourself. You know, if you work hard, you get more. Obviously, it links to bonuses and all these things. So it's something I don't know why it's been looked down in an organization, but or not in an organization. I'm sorry for that. But in terms of the general public, you know,
It's true.
because I think probably it's linked to people doing credit card sales and all these things. Again, that is such a
It's
nice
not
job.
minority.
Exactly. So it's I have never got this one, and I have been discussing with these people, you know, that you can make sales interesting as well, and it's not a stereotype of job. You know, everybody, even if you talk about internal departments, HR is selling you
Yeah, absolutely.
as an employee
True.
their policies, their procedures, their day out or whatever it is. The underwriters are selling you the proposition on price, and so on and so forth. You know, so it's every department is doing sale in some way or the other. You know, so how can that prestigious sales figure or a sales person be looked down? You know, it's all about processes. It's all about thinking in the way that at the end of the day, we all are doing sales, you know.
I've been in this discussion before, and I would say, because I train people, and I say, the activity of sales itself, it applies in every endeavor in your life.
Absolutely.
Take any profession. Any profession now, pick, is a doctor. Well, to some extent, will try to sell you the idea of why you need to do certain procedure because it's the benefit of so and so. So even in that prestigious profession, still they are doing sales. It's not under sales, it's more like a convincing or showing you what's the pros and cons for a certain procedure.
Yeah.
But it's again the same thing. It's a skill of bringing the best, how it's gonna fulfill your need, and why you need it.
Absolutely.
This is sales.
So that's why I'm telling you, every stage of life, you do sales. Every department does sales.
Agree.
So I think this is the best profession, I would say, then, you know.
And let's take it further.
Yeah.
Let's take it further. What skills that define a good salesperson?
It's a difficult one, but,
Go on.
but I mean, if you sell more, you're the best salesperson.
One, numbers.
Yeah.
Two,
Numbers, commitments. Honoring that commitments is the major part, I would say. Keeping the promises.
okay. What kind of soft skills that he needs that defines him?
Communication, you know. You need to communicate. As a salesperson, if you don't communicate, you're not going to get it.
And this is what I always preach. And I said, communication is the effective communication is the key. Look at today, just examine the life around you, people around you. Whoever succeeded or managed to really to have significance in life,
Yeah.
what is the main character that he is possessed? Effective communication.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the main crux of everything.
Exactly.
So if you are a good communicator, you are a good salesman because you have to sell something. But the first and foremost is you have to believe in what you're selling.
True.
If I don't believe this is the right way of doing things, I will never be able to sell. I tell my team always, are you convinced?
That's a powerful word.
Are you convinced to sell this to the market? If not, go back to the underwriter, speak to them. If you don't is if you're not convinced yourself that this is the right price for it, give me a reason. Because if you're not sold yourself, you cannot sell it to others.
Very true.
So you have to sell it yourself first.
True.
And if you believe in it, that you are doing the right thing, or you have the information you've got is the right information, then you can go and sell it.
And sorry to interrupt, but I think this is where why the community or the general public dislike this sales position, because they've seen people that they didn't believe whatever they are selling or offering, but still pushing it in your throat.
Exactly.
To an extent, yeah.
Exactly, absolutely. So, I mean, I have come across so many situations in the last 20 years over here where I have met people where they're just doing it for the sake of doing it, you know. I always made a point that if I want to sell something, I want to know about that one, the full knowledge of what that product or plan is, why that plan is, and what are the exclusions, which is most important, which a lot of salespeople would not say, oh, actually, these are 40 exclusions which you will not be able to get, you know. That's why you're just putting something in the dark, you know. Whereas I always believed in to start off with the exclusions, in terms of insurance, I always say, and then give them the good points. And it's. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wants to make money out of it.
You have highlighted a very good point, which is, thank you for highlighting. You have the confidence to educate your client without fear that losing the deal.
Absolutely.
And this is what I think it's the main difference between, I wouldn't say ethical salesperson or non-ethical, but successful salesperson with a legacy who can be just being a CEO one day. Because that part of education and being sincere what you do without putting a prime objective is the dollar sign.
Absolutely. So again, you will lose one deal, but you will gain 10 others, you know. Just because you believe in something and what you are putting it through, of not fear of losing it, makes it even more greater, you know. So that you are giving everything in front of the client to say, this is what it is. But this is the standard of across the region as well, or across all insurers, you know. So this is how it works. So if you tell them everything in advance, the expectations is met. Otherwise, you don't know, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people. Health insurance is, if I am sick, as I told you, I mean, emergency can be different. For me, if my son has a high degree temperature, that's an emergency for me.
True.
Whereas might not be for somebody else, you know. So it all depends on how you expect the expectations, how you manage the expectations of people, you know. And as I always say, you always under-promise and over-deliver. That is where everything works. So if, because in insurance, it's I mean, I would not say it's too black and white, because there are certain things which are in gray, because certain things, I mean, I'll give you a very, very small example. I know we are going into detail. So if you have DNS, which is a deviated nasal septum, it is a standard exclusion. But if it's hindering in breathing, then it becomes eligible treatment, you know, because then it is medically necessary. So there are small things which you, I mean, if you start writing it in exclusion, then it would be 2,000 pages and you would not be able to do it. So it's all about managing expectation as to where and when and how things would happen for a client, you know.
Yeah.
It all depends. So it's all about managing expectations. It's all about giving the full information and obviously believing in yourself.
This is a derailed question.
Yes.
Being in the insurance, especially for the health section, what troubles do you guys face?
Every single thing. Because, I mean, again, it's all about understanding.
Yeah.
If you talk to me as a layman, I would come and say, oh, why my claim is not paid? We get so many complaints about a claim not being paid. But if you go into the detail of it as well, you would find out that it was an exclusion or it was not medically necessary. It's a very thin line. It's a very, very thin line.
Because let's take the journey, and I will understand if certain details you will not highlight, which is I totally understand. Let's take the journey of someone who needs to go to hospital for certain treatment, and then the journey starts from getting prescription for certain procedures, X-ray, whatever it is, medical things that need to be done, then medicine, then there we go. I need to wait for my insurance to approve.
Yeah. So again, it's so UAE has done a great thing. So everything is mostly automated,
Yes, I remember the days
yeah.
that I needed to
Yeah.
sit until they call the insurance company or go home and come back again after 2-3
Yes.
days
Yes.
to get it approved. Yes.
So
now
again,
streamlined.
Yeah, it's quite streamlined. Everything is run by a benefit system as well. All the hospitals are online. They can check the eligibility online.
Yeah.
And obviously the system approves it in relation to what your prescription is and what your condition is. If that matches, there is no problem. If that does not match, then it becomes an issue. But I mean, again, as a layman, you would not understand. Like, I would not understand if the doctor is saying something. I said, okay, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I will have to go with what he's saying,
Yeah, your focus,
your
focus only
focus
to
is
to get
better.
that better.
Yeah.
That's it.
In insurance, it becomes, the objective is to get your claims passed, But there are terms and conditions which the company is bound to follow.
Agreed.
So that where the challenge comes in, and the challenge with medical insurance is so vast, and people would think otherwise, that if the small claim is not paid, whether it was in terms of in the policy terms and conditions, they would say, no, the insurance companies is not paying. Whereas if you investigate and try to understand that why it is not paid, then it becomes more clear. So it's all about, again, we are coming back to the first point. If you would have explained it in detail to the client that this would be paid and this would not be paid, the manage expectations. So their expectations are managed, so you would understand, oh, again, this is not paid. I mean, for example, powder milk is not paid. It's something very similar, But I mean, obviously, if there are terms and conditions which are lactose free and all this thing, then it becomes payable.
Justified.
So this is where it all encompasses. So when you start to manage expectations of people, especially in terms of health insurance, things becomes a little bit more clear. But it's a challenge which I face every single day, which probably any other insurance person, any other insurance company would face as well. But it is developing. People are becoming more aware of how things, especially after COVID, people are really, they read the exclusion list now,
Yeah.
whether this is covered or not covered, It was not the case. So COVID has taught us a lot of things as well in terms of how you do business as well, So it's a journey, I think, which will continue, and people would become more educated. And I think it's the responsibilities of the people who are in this industry to tell people how things work,
In the same avenue, how will you justify the increase on insurance premium?
Again, in terms of if you talk about claims.
Yeah. Because you could have like signed for a certain policy this year, and then it's jump like off the roof.
Yeah, so there are so many things. I mean, you assess a policy not by shock claims. There are other claims as well. There is a one-off claim where you would not have thought. Then the tenure of the policy that has been with you, maybe it's been 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. A one shock claim can come in, or a high risk claim can come in as well. So we evaluate, or any other insurance companies would evaluate in terms of what is the case is all about. If it's a first year, maybe it's an unfortunate one. If it's the policy has been with us for quite a number of years, okay, so one shock claim can come in because this is what is insurance is all about. To cover that one mishap, or two mishap, or 3 or 4, whatever it is.
Yes.
So that's where your premiums comes in. I mean, premiums is dependent on the claims itself.
Yeah.
It's not only claims, but the market inflation and medical inflation, which is different to the market inflation, which is advancement of technology, because you have less invasive treatments now,
Yes.
which costs more,
True.
and we are moving one age older as well. So our risk of getting sick is getting higher
Yeah.
with increase. So it's just not one factor of claims, it's multiple things. And then you see the assessment, and then you do all the analysis. Again, as a salesperson, I want to have the best premiums with the best benefits, but obviously I have to look in the underwriter's pot as well to see where they have to come from, you know. And this is where the trick of the salespeople is, you know. A lot of salespeople would not look into all these things, which I would really advise to look, not just in insurance, in any sales, see where the cost is, where you are coming on the cost itself, you know, where is the main differences, what are the main benefits
Yes.
out of it as well. And then you do an assessment. And I think if, as I said, if you do the full analysis, you can be a better salesman.
True. But there is a lot of them that try to cut corners, just take the speed way, and that's it, without looking forward. I mean, without having a proper vision on the future.
Exactly.
Because they're looking for the quick buck.
Yeah. So again, it all depends on what you're determined to do, you know, what you're committed to do. And if you want to put yourself in the client's shoes,
Yeah.
then you would understand what the client would face if the full information is not been given. I mean, everything is available in the market. The competition is there. If you want to have a cheaper product, the cheaper product is there.
Yes.
If you want to have a higher one, the higher one is there. It's all depends on what the client wants. Most of the things, what we do mistakes is we don't ask the client, what is your exact need?
Yes.
I mean, I always tend to speak to my clients saying, why do you need to move from your existing insurer? What is that thing which is making you move to the next one, you know?
Interesting.
Either it's service, either it's claim not being paid, but why it's not being paid, we have to investigate that, or it's just premiums. Because certainly sometimes it is, okay, I don't have the budget for a higher premium. But then again, you talk to the customer and say, okay, let's change the plan and not change the insurer. Because it's a hassle for people. So if I have 200 people, they are used to something, you know. If you change
Yes.
something, then it becomes even a little bit more difficult for them for a new thing, because maybe the other companies is doing something differently, you know.
Yes.
So it's all about managing expectations to say, let's do it something differently, you know. And not for the sake of just moving the account, you know. It's just to understand the biggest mistake. I mean, I would have done it in my life before as well, that I do not ask, or I did not ask, why you want to move. Why you want to change, or why you want to buy, let's say, why you want to buy an iPhone over Samsung.
Yeah. It's true.
It's true. So unless you understand the need of the customers, I think you don't know what's going on, you know.
With that said, that takes me to the point which is very important here. If you have that mindset of change, when I'm talking about career, and let's take your example, you have moved from, let's say, a local company to an international company. What did you do to make yourself stand out?
Communicate. I communicated with people. I used to take part in all the activities.
Okay.
Used to give my opinion, voice myself out. Obviously, I want to say something, I have to say it. And this is, again, I mean, because I've worked with Westerners quite a lot as well, this is what I've learned from them. If you want to say something, say it. Don't hold your back. And obviously, I was very lucky that all my managers pushed me. Oh, this is him, and he's doing it as well. If you want to stand out, you need to be prominent. You need to show yourself, and you need to take part in the discussions. And obviously, put your point of view forward as well. Don't be scared. I've been sitting with CEOs and all these things. I always put my point forward, that this is what I believe is the right way of doing things, you know. I might be wrong. I might learn from them as well. because they are there for a certain reason. They have been onto that position for a certain reason. They might have worked out a little bit, more than people as well. And I believe, my wife always says, there is always one good thing in anybody. Take that one thing out and work on that one. Maybe you don't have that one. Then you work on that one thing, because everybody in this entire world, I believe, has one good thing. At least one good thing.
At least.
If not more.
So because again, when we say about there is a good thing of having a professional career, and this is why you're here with your expertise. What did you find different while you are employed by let's say a local company, and it's different in an international firm?
It's the freedom, I think.
Unpack that, please.
So it's all about state of mind, people. People, I felt, I might be wrong as well. But the circle I was moving into it, with multinationals, they give you more opportunities. They listen to you more.
Okay.
Your point of view, and they give you a chance. This is what I felt. Again, there are opportunities in obviously local companies
of course,
as well. It's not a generalization. It's just
Absolutely.
that I was a bit lucky, and I found something different that it's your opinion is quite valuable, as I felt.
I have two of my brother works with international companies, and I could see the different mindset, approach, managing their expectations. This is one of the things, and know what they need to do. And this is something that I want you to highlight it here in this episode. If your aim is to attract or being employed by an international company, what skills you need to adapt or learn?
You have to be brave. You have to show commitment.
Okay.
You have to show willingness to work anytime. Again, it's how you show your commitment. It's been valued by multinationals as well. I'm not saying again. Local companies do it as well. They do it pretty well in many segments.
They improved for the last 10 years.
Because of the fact that the influx of international companies has given that exposure.
Yes.
To all these local companies as well, and I think they are doing pretty good as well. It's all about it's about the mindset. It's not about international company or a local company. It's wherever you want to get yourself successful, you have to be willing to do the extra mile.
If I will summarize it from all what you have said, is basically you worked in your branding yourself.
Absolutely. You brand yourself in a way that you are honest to yourself first, and then honest to others as well. So once you have achieved that level of being truthful for everything you say, again, if you cannot put everything straightforward in this world as it says, but you have to be very honest in what you feel about things. If you end up in doing that, I think you will be successful, whether it's a multinational or a local insurance company. It's just
irrespective of the industry. We are taking it because the listeners they come from a different walk of life. So for this reason, a lot of people, they think that branding themselves is only really putting a nice profile picture in whatever social media things that attract HR or attract recruiters, but really the branding itself, the core of the branding, of the skills or the habits, this is something that really
exactly. So it's not about putting a picture or having a title. I've never believed in titles, but if and that trust comes not just on the first day. You build up that your brand. All these international brands, if you talk about any big brands, they did not became number one on day one.
Some of them hundreds
of years. It takes time. So you have to build up that brand about your personality. But how do you do that? You do it with your consistent approach on dealing how you deal with people.
Yes.
how you present yourself, how you're presenting as what information you are giving out to them, how much support you are giving it to them. Slowly and gradually, all those people who are in your professional circles start to become your friends. And in any business, the relationships really, really count. If you have a good relationships, you can do anything you want.
If you look back on time, I'm not taking the time machine or going back to future as per the movie.
Yeah.
If you look back, what was the one thing or one habit or practice that really you mastered it and it was instrumental for your success today?
Commitment.
Commitment.
If I have committed something, I will do it. So
Unpack that, please. Because it's commitment is so vague for some people.
yeah.
It needs to be unpacked. So
Yeah. So so if I say that I will get this done on this day,
yeah,
I will do it, irrespective of whatever challenges I will get. Unless it is unavoidable,
yeah,
I will make sure that this thing will happen. So commitment is committed to yourself, commitment to your work, commitment to your
commitment to your success.
success. So if you are committed, if you are so passionate about something, the commitment becomes already. I mean, I'll give you a very small example. I am very injury prone, so I have back issues. Because I play a very hard game. You
Yes.
know. But I always wanted to fight when I'm down. So I have injuries. I mean, I had to stop playing squash as well.
Yes.
But I always had that commitment that if I train myself to that level, I will be back on the court. And this is my life discipline. If I'm down in my personal life, I will make sure that I would do something
Yes.
that would change it. In my professional life, if I'm thinking, oh, I'm being stagnant over here, what should I do differently?
So do you think this commitment thing, if you really believed in it, it will help you to break free from a situation that you are stuck, especially in a career stagnation?
Not always. Not always.
Not always.
There are chances. There are chances that you might fail, but that fail is not a step to go down. It's a failure to step one step up. You learn from that failure. Even you were committed. I mean, there are so many wrong decisions we make.
True.
We are humans.
You might do some decisions based on circumstances at that time.
Exactly.
It might be right at that time.
Exactly.
But then it failed.
Yeah, because over the period of time, that might have evolved.
True.
So I would always feel that one step of failure is not a failure. It's a step of success to the next step.
You know why? Because this is a very good, valid point, and thank you for highlighting that. Commitment, because commitment for me, if I want to go, for example, to build my brand, personal brand, what will I do to do that? You need to do critical steps. You need to go work on some of the weak points that you need to improve. A lot of times, it's a hard way. So you would like, a lot of people, they have a New Year's resolution.
I have my differences on that.
I have my own, but I could see a lot of them, like in the middle of the month, they just abandoned it.
Finished.
Where is the commitment in this case?
Yeah.
So a lot of people really, maybe the commitment is really to be honest what you want to do and really commit to it, even it's hard. And the commitment became more important when things go south.
Exactly. And the commitment is not time bound. Oh, when the new year will come, I will start it. I will start it today. Because tomorrow never comes, Because if you start it tomorrow, tomorrow will become today, and tomorrow never comes, So I feel a lot of people say, oh, my resolution is from 2025, I'm going to do this. Middle of the month,
Gone.
back again. So what I feel is if you are committed, you will do it straight away. You will not wait for tomorrow.
And this is exactly what I did for an Abed podcast. We are now in January, January
2nd.
January 2nd, and this is episode 19. It's not episode 1. My original plan to launch Abed podcast in 2025 January. But guess what? We are episode 19,
Because
not episode
commitment,
1.
yes.
Just because commitment. Just hear it from him, guys.
Yes.
Let's switch gears.
Sorry?
Let's switch gears.
Yes.
And this questions have been inspired by Assam. Thank you, Assam, for sharing this. You worked with the new hires and you worked with a lot of existing employees. And this is some of the brutal truth about career. Let me take your take on that. Let me hear your takes on that. It's not about working hard.
It's about working smartly.
How?
Again, there is so many technology around,
Yes.
Use that technology.
But if you are asked to stay longer in the office,
Uh,
come on, you are one of them.
I've been one of them, yes.
There
I've
you
been
go.
asked before as well. But I think if you work smartly, and nowadays after COVID, we know that we can work from anywhere we want to work from,
Absolutely.
I always believe, again, I might be very different to the others as well, that if at the end of the day, the job is done, no matter from where,
Yeah,
it's fine.
true.
But again, the flip side of it is you have to see people as well,
Yes.
So again, it's all about how you work. I always felt, you need to work hard, point blank. There's nothing about it. But you need to work smartly as well,
Would you change working hard, work with commitment?
Work with commitment and smartly.
Yeah. Because if you committed to it, it's like your mind is set, I need to get this done. Doesn't matter the time it will take, but with a twist, I will work smartly.
Exactly. So I always wanted to have all the information and then pick whatever I want to pick from there and put it in my observation and then present it. You can do all the things,
Okay.
work hard about it, spend 20 hours, or you can use technology and use it and get some information out of it. Work smartly. I always tell everyone, push yourself, fine, but take the help of technology as well.
Absolutely.
You,
It's there.
if something is available, let's just use it.
Okay. Myth number 2. Loyalty won't pay the bills.
It never does. It never does.
Then how you manage it? Loyalty to the company.
See, again, as at the end of the day, the company pays you.
Yes.
All right. If you believe that the company is doing the right thing, you would be loyal to them. And loyalty does not come only with money. It's about appreciation.
Yes.
It's about giving you the opportunity to move to the next steps, opportunity to grow. And obviously, once you tick mark all these things, money will automatically come towards it.
Of course.
But loyalty, it's a huge word. It's not as simple as just saying, if something happens to me, company will find somebody new, obviously. But then again, as long as you are employed with the company, you are actually the face of the company as well,
So you need to look after yourself.
You have to.
Yeah.
So everybody has to look after themselves. Again, for me, my family is on top priority.
Of course.
Always. My son, my wife, my mother is always, or my brother as well, it's always on top. Then it comes to that company loyalty as well, But again, I've been so lucky that whichever companies I worked for, I had the opportunity. I had so many good managers where I am where I am because of few people, in this industry,
That's amazing. Myth number 3. Your job title is temporary. So don't stay with the same skills longer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, titles are just titles. I told you before as well. Title does not mean anything.
Okay.
You have to learn the skill of the future as well, you know.
And this is what going forward all the time that I have used when changing the companies is I automatically change my job description after acquiring the necessary skills to take me that step.
Exactly.
I would need more skills, but I will
Absolutely.
learn it as I walk or as I run. But
So that is where you need to start developing yourself, you know.
yeah,
If we don't develop ourselves, you're not going to go forward, you know.
true.
So you have to learn different skills. Otherwise, you're going to be stagnant for the rest of your life.
It's true.
So you need to learn. I mean, I always say people, if computers are there, use the computer.
You remember the times when accounting computers came to accounting and people they resisted.
Exactly, but they feared the jobs. But now those people are running that softwares, you know. So again, so that is working smartly. So if you have the accounting software,
Yes.
use it. Why you want to put it on a
True.
journal and put it manually? There is no need. Calculator is there. So calculator is the biggest example I would say. You don't need to learn. Might as well use that
As a
learning
reference point,
as a
maybe.
reference point to
Yeah.
somewhere else. Otherwise, you have the calculator. Just use it. It's just as simple as it gets, you know.
Sure.
Just like you learn and you take help of Google to understand. Okay, you need some information, you get that information.
Sure.
But solely don't rely on it. Do your investigation.
Upgrade your skill.
Upgrade your skills. Yes.
Number 4, your boss is not always right.
I wish I could say that. But again, for me, I've worked with people who accept their mistake,
Okay.
even on a position where they don't have to. But I was so lucky to get those people in my life, in my career life as well, to say, hands up, I've made a mistake. Let's move on and sort this out one as well. But generally, it does not happen.
You're lucky.
And I do the same as well with my team, you know.
That's why I'm asking
Yeah.
you this question, because you're
So
a
I
boss
was coming
yourself.
to- yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a self-criticism.
I am the first person in my team, and I mean, hand on heart, if they are sitting over here, they might say the same thing, might.
Mike.
But I'm the first one to accept mistake, always, because I don't know everything.
True.
And I learn from people, you know. I learn from my team because they might know a thing which is I've never gone through it as well, or I've never done it before, you know.
Sometimes they are the eyes and the ears for you in the market, in the ground.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say I spend probably more time in the office than my wife at home, you know. So I spend like 7, 8, 9, 10 hours at office.
Naturally, yeah.
So I'm literally married to my team, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to have that trust. And as you say, they are your eyes, your ears, because those are the people who are going and seeing people as well. you
Yes.
know. So you have to give them confidence and to trust their decisions as well, you know. So that's where.
Point number 5. Networking is not negotiable.
It is not.
How? I have read a book, Build Your Network at Work First.
I would say build a network from anywhere you want to build it from.
Yeah.
From your, I built up my network from sports. Everywhere I go,
Yes.
I take my racket, I take my squash bag, I go to I used to go quite a lot to the UK for my office work. There's a squash court over there. I just went one day with my bike and said, let's just play. I started networking from there. So you make networks from your school,
Yes.
your friends. Those might be in a different position somewhere
True.
down the line as well. So I believe it's not from the work only.
Yeah.
It's from everywhere you do, you know.
And this is exactly how you can attract international people.
Absolutely.
Or not even international companies or international people. You open yourself for a better success. And this is what was one of my shortfalls. I could know when I audited my own self. Okay, it was like when I reviewed my network, I said, you know what? It has to be upgraded. What do we need? How would I upgrade it? I need to do 1 and 2 and 3, which doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So that's where it is. So you have to find those people around. The bigger the circle, the better it is, you know.
All right. Point number 6. Comfort zones kill growth.
I fully agree with this. So if you are sitting in some situation where you're in the company for so many years, you say, you know each and everything out.
That's the stability of a career. That's what people are looking for.
Yes, but then again, you don't upgrade yourself to see what's out there in the market. I always felt, let me see what is there, you know. How can I improve myself? How can I see things differently, you know? Staying in your comfort zones gives you stability, right? But that stability does not give you, I mean, for me, it does not give me that sort of a push to go to the next step as well. Because I'm sitting, I'm saying, okay, I know what I need to do. I know how to do it as well. But what if I need something more energetic, you know?
Because I'll tell you why. And this is what I've seen it a lot. People, when they reach certain age, one, how can I say, status, or when the family expand, if it is a good way, or if it went south, when they get separated, then they clinch to the comfort zone.
That is true. But you know, the pyramid is like this, you know.
Yeah.
So the more you go up, it becomes smaller and smaller, and there is either you do lateral move or you do nothing, you know,
Absolutely.
or you stay on there one. So that's where it works as well. So if you in that zone, it's difficult to go to the next stage because there might be no next stage as well.
True.
Or the next stage is not even lateral, it's one step below.
True.
Sometimes you go one step below as well.
How?
Sometimes to learn something differently, you know, where, okay, if you're not in that age bracket, you're pretty young, you might want to see and explore something which you don't have a skill set to, you know.
Yes.
Eventually you will grow.
But a different path.
In different path. It depends on what path you want to choose in that case as well. So it becomes very, very things people would go and see, okay, if I'm doing something here and it's only lateral from here, why don't I explore something different, you know? Maybe.
This is very interesting. I'll tell you why. Because this is sometimes you reach a dead end to wherever you are, like maybe that path you have taken it's eventually it has dead end. But with the growth of your network around you and not believing that the title is just only a title, those people can open for you a new doors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you might have a slight deviation of going down for maybe a year or so.
But then they skyrocket.
Because you might not have explored that situation or that opportunity at that time, you know. So it becomes very, very different. And if you want to do something differently, at any point of life, you know, I mean, people should always keep on exploring things to say, okay, this is where I am, this is where I want to be, what's next? I always tell myself, and obviously my son as well, always talk about what is next. You have achieved this one, whether you have achieved it or not achieved it, I want to go to this level, you know.
That leads me to the second point. You are always will be replaceable.
Absolutely. I obviously always agree. That's why I said, the moment I'm not there, I would be replaced in probably less than 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever it is. Build up that value. Again, that comes from networking, from effective communication, how much you are visible to everyone, you know. So if you do all the ticks right, obviously, I mean, there are chances of mishaps as well, you know. That's why you call that a mishap.
Absolutely.
The more you get yourself involved in things, sometimes taking workload more than you do, sometimes it helps because you are more valuable to the company itself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not, because it all depends on how much workload you can take. I mean, all this is one person, you cannot work
Obviously,
everything.
yeah, there was a
So
limitation.
it all depends on how much willing you are take the opportunity from. Just grasp. I mean, I always feel take responsibilities.
Yeah.
Show them that, yes, I am capable of doing X, Y, Z, you know.
And to the agile kind of environment nowadays,
Yeah.
top player execs, they will never be interested if someone doesn't take initiative.
Absolutely. Initiative has to be taken.
Yeah. So
That is one thing where I would strongly suggest, especially for salespeople,
yes,
take that
initiative.
that initiative of voicing your concern or voicing your ideas or voicing your things. And I am sure people would be as lucky as me where the ideas were heard, you know.
Let's move to the next step. The next point. No one will hand you success.
You have to get it yourself. No one will hand it to you in plate. Never, ever.
Never.
Never, ever. People are there to take it away from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. But you have to work yourself out for that success which is there for you.
Okay.
We always believe, yes, the success which is written would come to you.
Yes.
But does not mean that you have to sit and watch and see whether it comes or not. You have to make those decisions.
You have to clinch your success.
Maybe it's a difficult decision to take. Maybe you have to sacrifice a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sacrificed a lot of
All
things
of
in
us
my
have
life, and
sacrificed.
everybody has done it.
Sure.
But that sacrifice, I
Right.
can say, is paying off now.
Great.
So everybody sacrifices to some point of time, and then it comes to a point where you say, I've achieved something, you know.
Okay. Now, this is a direct question to you. Since you are managing people and basically you are on that ladder of management, feedback is a gift.
Sometimes. Sometimes. But I would say a constructive feedback.
Yes.
Whether it's, I mean, a lot of people would say, even when I used to manage other people's as well, if you tell them something negative, which you have to tell them,
Yes.
I always never say it's a negative feedback. I would say it's a constructive feedback. You need to improve yourself. How do you do it?
Constructive feedback.
Constructive feedback. I think feedback is the most important. And what I do in my career and in my professional life is I don't wait to give it. I mean, like we have the one-to-ones, the
Obviously,
quarterly.
yes.
I give it straight away.
I always advocate for people who I train, and I will always say use constructive feedback in your arsenal because it will improve you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
It will improve your communication around you,
Yeah.
and it will open doors for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you should have the ability to take that feedback and, as you said, work on it, and then you will see the results.
Above all, if you're wanting to give a feedback, be ready to receive a feedback.
Yes. Absolutely. So we have this kind of a thing where you do a reverse feedback
Yes.
as well, so you get that one as well. So that's really helpful as well, because I can be wrong as well, you know.
True. Final point here. Career progress is not linear.
It's not.
Oh boy.
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It. So progression can be many things, you know. Not only that you are on a certain level, you mean that you have progressed, you know. Again, for me, progress is recognition.
Okay.
People just recognize you when you walk out that door, you know. People just trust you when you walk out that door.
Amazing.
So that's where progression is, you know. Title is nothing. If one day you will see me on the road, you will understand, no, this is Rehman.
Amazing. We have run out of time. How the time flew by, I have no idea.
Me too as well. I mean, and I told you was my first time, and this is a
No,
great experience.
I do appreciate it. If you will give us the final advice or the points that for people who wants really have a fruitful career, what will be your advice for them?
See, dedication is one thing.
Okay.
So you need to be dedicated if you want to progress. You have to be honest to yourself. You don't care about any other. If you are honest to yourself, if you're dedicated to yourself, if you're smart and you work hard, that's a recipe for progression. That's a recipe for standing out. I have tried it this my life. I have been working tirelessly on many things, multitasking things as well. But if you have that edge of dedication, believe me, you can achieve anything. People have climbed the Mount Everest.
True.
Dedication.
Absolutely.
People have gone to levels. Look at technology now. Dedication. I think if you are dedicated, if you are committed, sky is the limit.
Well, with this final notes, thank you very much, Mr. Rahman, for having the time with us. I know you have a busy schedule, and for sharing these incredible stories with our and practical insights with our listeners. And your journey remind us, everyone, that career can be really fruitful and really rewarding. Nothing for me to add except saying.
No, thank you very much. I mean, Abdurrahman, this is a great experience. As I said, this was the first for me.
No.
And hopefully people would learn. And if anything you need from me, anytime later on, we can do this podcast
sure.
again. Now I'm trying to be
Now
an
you're
expert
pro. Well, until next time then, stay motivated, keep pushing forward and reach for your excellence. This is Abed Podcast. We'll see you in next episode. Thank you, Mr. Rahman, for that.
Thank you very much.
Happy